Has someone ever done anything for someone else and they bragged about it? Isn't it horrible when something is done and it's done in the wrong spirit? Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotta get up early to go help them move. Oh, wow. Well, if they heard you said that, they would tell you to stay in bed. Stay in the bed. I've had that happen many times. All right, I'll come down and pick you up. It's like, please do me no favors. Do me no favor. Someone ever been like that with you? They do a deed, but they do it in the wrong spirit. Isn't it horrible? All right, come on in, I'll feed you. You know what? Secondhand, I'd rather starve. No, thank you. Where is the joy when you're helping someone? Where is the joy when you're doing something for someone? I had a friend request some money, and I said, if I get some, I'll send some your way. I didn't have any available to send him at the moment. But then something came my way, and the first thing I thought, not about my needs and the purpose of my financial situation, but now I have the ability to send something to my friend, to the one who asked me a week or two ago. Now I have something. I jumped right and sent it, and I sent something extra along just to say, by the way, whenever you ask me to do something, I do a little more. You ask me to give something, I give a little more. You ask me to go somewhere, I go a little further. Just the way I do it. He didn't have to ask. He didn't have to keep calling me or texting me. The moment it was in my hand, it was out of my hand. And it was sent to his hand. And I did it with great joy and a smile and love. Not, when are you going to pay me back? Now, he did tell me that he would send it back to me in the new year. I didn't respond to that, because what he does not know is when he attempts to send it back to me, I'm simply going to tell him to keep it. You see, he asked, and I was willing to give, but what he doesn't know is I'm giving it. Even before I have it, I've already committed it to him, not as a loan, as a gift. I love the integrity that he wished to pay it back. That's fine. I'm not going to accept that. I've released it and it's gone. It's in his hands. Doesn't need to pay me back. If I had to pay God back for everything he gave me, well, first of all, I can't. But if I did, I'd be dead. Worse than broke. But I had to do it in the right spirit. In the right spirit. The right spirit. Oh, where are you? You're stranded? Give me a minute. Oh, okay, I'm on my way. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, can't you call somebody else? Oh, I'm in bed. Well, gee, I didn't know you were in bed. I mean, I would have broken down, around lunchtime instead of choosing to break down now at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sorry. Oh, what was I thinking? Calling you at an inopportune moment. Why, I should have had more sense to know when tragedy was going to hit and tell tragedy, you wait a while. My friend is sleeping. Just have to wait until my friend is up and conveniently has the time to help. Whatever you do with joy. Don't toss someone a gift. Look them in the eye when you hand it to them. The Japanese say, both hands. They bow and they hand it to you with both hands. It is a gift. I'm giving it in the right spirit. I'm not just throwing here, there you go, tossing it down. I've had people give me gifts. They never look at me in my eye or hand it to me in my hand. It's not really coming from them, is it? It's nice when someone looks at you and go, I have something. I want to bless you here. You know, I live alone, so when I make things, I try to hand it off to someone who's grateful. I can't eat everything I make because I don't really make a single dish. Some dishes, you make them, you cook, you bake, and it's not made for one person. You don't really have an ingredient proportion ratio that makes it work out by making it just for one. So you do have to make it kind of for four or more. And you're not going to eat it all. And isn't it wonderful when you can knock on your neighbor's door or pull up to somebody at a grocery store and give them something you've made? People who know you, who've seen you, or a stranger or homeless person on the street, something homemade that you made. You know, you buy the cheap pie for the homeless guy, and you go home and you spend 4 hours to make that pie from scratch. But you save that for the special people. Isn't it nice when someone who knows that they're not special receives something special from you? Isn't it wonderful? How it makes you feel. To give in the right spirit. To correct in the right spirit as well. Someone's correcting you not to tear you down because they hate you. They want to see you wobble on the ground. No, because they want to help you. They know you're crying. They know, and they want to help you get through that tough moment or that problem you have, good or bad, something you've done or something done to you. And they know it's going to be painful. But isn't it wonderful when the pain is coming from someone who loves you? Isn't it wonderful when the waiter or waitress comes and they don't slam the plate down on the table in front of you and smirk and give you that look like they can't stand you? Isn't it wonderful to have the food made in love or have the food delivered to you in love? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Spirit. And you feel it. Then it's no longer about the plate of food. You know, people go to a restaurant, they say they love the experience, and sometimes it's the waiter or the waitress who didn't even cook the food, but the way they come to your table, the way they talk to you, and you go there, you know, the food's not so great, but I love that waiter, I love that waitress, I love the environment, right? Sometimes it's not even about what they're giving or how much they're giving. It's just about the person. I'd rather be rebuked by a friend that I know loves me. They're not rebuking because they can't stand me. They know I have a problem, and they try to help. They're not trying to tear you down. You never rebuke somebody by trying to tear them down. You rebuke them by building them up. You grab a hand and you help to lift them up, not use your foot to keep them down. What's wrong with all of you? Why have you forgotten these simple lessons? They're very simple lessons. Why don't you practice that? Then you can tell someone something, not because you're so great. You don't have to be perfect to tell somebody something. You can recognize cops pull you over and they remind you of the law. They're not perfect, but they are enforcers of the law. That's their job. It should be all of our job with each other, no matter what. Well, I can't say that to him. Yes, you can. You can encourage him. You can say, hey, Dad, you ever seen a child? I saw a movie once where the son says something to the father, and the father says, you know, son, you're right. Thanks for reminding me of that. I apologize. Isn't it wonderful when someone older apologizes to someone younger, or once in a while the child reminds daddy or mommy that something isn't right? And you know what, honey, you're right. Mommy shouldn't have done that. Daddy shouldn't have done that. We all have done that. We've all have done that. Don't think that because somebody is older, they're incapable of doing something wrong. They're older, wiser than you, and stronger than you. They can still fall. And don't expect a child to be perfect. They're younger. They're learning. they're falling even more. But don't beat the child down. Don't abuse the child. Don't scream at the child. It's okay. You'll learn. You'll catch on soon enough, son. Oh, Dad, it's all right. Oh, I've fallen too before, and sometimes I still do. We all have to remind each other of that. I've had an encounter with an officer once. He actually apologized to me. And I said to him, I says, "Officer, that's not necessary. I know you're not perfect. I'm not either. But you still did what you thought was right, and I respect that. It's okay. Understanding and wisdom. Love right. Give things right. Rebuke right. Encourage right. Just be right. Regardless of their humanity or yours. We have one perfect Father. And He set the standard.